Hi, I'm Lisa Ramirez, founding partner of U.S. Immigration Law Group. We understand that there's a tremendous amount of fear, anxiety, worry, stress in our immigrant communities. And it's not just our immigrants that are impacted. We also recognize that it's a lot of U.S. citizens and lawful permanent residents, often who are burdened with the responsibility of taking care of younger siblings in the event that a parent is apprehended or detained. We want to make sure that you are educated, equipped, and empowered with the best information possible. Our office has been holding forums in the community to do just that, to help people understand what their constitutional rights are, but also just as important is what the government priorities are. What's really critical to know is that the government, as a practical matter, does not have the human or financial resources to apprehend, detain, or deport the nearly 12 to 14 million people here in the United States. So they need to prioritize, and it's important that everyone understands what those priorities are. So first and foremost, what's really critical to understand is that if you have any charges or criminal convictions or even arrests for any type of criminal activity, that would deem you a government priority. You may be very well of the passing of the Laken Riley Act, which basically really changes a lot about our justice system. We're accustomed to people being innocent until proven guilty. With the passage of this piece of legislation, the federal government can now apprehend and detain anyone just on a mere accusation. They don't need to be charged. They don't need to be convicted. And so you want to be extremely careful, both in terms of where you go and who you hang around with, because things have changed significantly. So if you have any criminal history whatsoever, whether they're arrests, whether they're charges, or whether they're convictions, it's super important that you speak with an immigration attorney so you understand how those apprehensions essentially affect your legal status. Secondly, if you've been previously ordered deported or removed, that is the second group of people that is also a priority for this government. So in instances where individuals already had their day in court, they already had the opportunity to have their case heard before a judge, there's going to be very little that any immigration attorney is going to be able to do. Obviously, people who are national security threats to this country would also be considered a priority. And then lastly, I would say individuals who have recently arrived, even those that have arrived on humanitarian parole programs, those have essentially been halted, and those individuals whose parole is expiring, or those individuals who are not properly admitted in the sense that they were not interviewed, they were not inspected, they were not properly processed, will be a priority for this government. Those of us who work with and for the immigrants in this community know that the majority of them do not fall under one of those priorities. So you want to make sure that if you do, that you are aware, that you are alert, that there may not be a lot of options in terms of what an immigration attorney can do to protect you.